This is TWiT.
The Washington Post reported over the weekend that the NSA targeted the communication of ordinary internet users far more than the legally targeted suspects. 90% of the people involved in intercepted conversations were not the targets of that surveillance, and nearly half were American citizens. The report was based on a 4-month investigation of documents leaked by Edward Snowden. And Lindsay Turntine, this is yet another revelation. Now that we've pretty much, I think we've got all the basic news out there, now journalists are going back and doing analysis of what has already been sort of out there. And in this case, they spent 4 months working on this thing, and they counted up and did a lot of apparently data crunching on this thing, and found that, you know, a huge number of people are being sort of surveilled accidentally as kind of collateral. You know, when you surveil someone, you have to look at their inbox, you collect their inbox information, and they're communicating with people who have nothing to do with any sort of crime or terrorism or plots of any kind. So their information is still available and built into the document, and it's something that is going to be a political problem for President Obama, no doubt. So, I mean, this is really quite a revelation, especially given the numbers. 9 out of 10 are completely innocent people who are supposedly protected by the Bill of Rights, and yet their information is being harvested, they're being surveilled, their private details are being collected and stored. You know, what's a national security agency to do about all this, do you think?
Gosh, if I knew the answer to that question, I'd be in charge. You know, it's obviously incredibly troubling because, you know, this could be any one of us with our information just sitting there on a database waiting to be used inappropriately at some future time. Because as we know, through the history of surveillance, even if intentions are good initially, eventually something usually goes wrong. But that said, I'm not, you know, 10% of these were actually troubling instances. And what was really interesting about this story to me is that so much of this information, even, you know, less than 10%, but still led to some really important discoveries, some of which the Washington Post wouldn't even reveal because they were part of ongoing terrorism investigations. And there were some big deal things uncovered through this process. So it's just a really tough problem. And I don't envy the NSA, to be honest.
Yeah, even the vague suggestions of the kinds of things that they uncovered were unsettling. For example, they said that they had information about a secret overseas nuclear project. I don't like the sound of that. Double dealing by an ostensible ally. Could that be Germany? And could that be why the U.S. is refusing to not spy on Germany, which is causing a rift between the two countries? A military calamity that befell an unfriendly power. I'd love to know about that one. That sort of thing. They also discovered and provided sketchy details about the arrest and capture in Abbottabad of Mohammed Tahir Shahzad, who's a Pakistan-based bomb builder. They had to track 50 fake accounts in order to nail this guy, and that gives you some sense of what the NSA is trying to do and what their challenges are. That they, you know, here's a person with 50 alias accounts that they have to sort of figure out somehow that this is the same person, so they can, you know, track him down and collect him. They also talked about how some of the surveillance led to the arrest of a Indonesian terrorist bombing suspect. So that's, you know, interesting information, and again, this is likely to be, and it should be, a political issue for President Obama. There's got to be some way to go after the bad guys and expunge as soon as humanly possible the private details of people who are not suspected of any crimes at all, or figure out how to surveil suspects without surveilling everyone that they interact with.